Hello, everyone. I don't want to film myself as I read the Bible because I want the focus to be on God. So, I put the camera, pointed the camera at one of our city's monuments, um, because I really do not want this focus to be on me. I want the focus to be on God. I agreed with my big sis. She called me yesterday and like she said, we had a wonderful time reading the book of Proverbs last July, and things, God just really started rolling things out for us. So I want to go back into doing that again, and I'm going to be posting one video a day. I'm doing Proverbs chapter 1 and 2 because I didn't do Proverbs yesterday. But I'm reading the King James version. But I tell everyone, look up Bible Gateway, because Bible Gateway, they have every version of the Bible, and you just click and scroll through and see which version, speaks to you the best, which version you understand the best, and that's the version you read. Proverbs chapter 1, and it's the book of Proverbs. And you got to remember, Proverbs, he wrote this as an elder after King Solomon had lived his life as a king. And he decided that everyone needed to understand that you have to approach this life from a place of wisdom. The Hebrew title of this book, and I'm not even going to butcher it up because I don't like when people call me Lyne't, but it's simply the Proverbs of Solomon. He's just speaking from wisdom. He's not trying to be holier than thou. He's not trying to be, this great man of God. This is a man who had unlimited money. He had unlimited wealth. He had unlimited everything. And at the end of his life, or towards the end, once he lived it up, he's talking to you from a place of having done it all. And so we're going to start, and this is mainly for the men. He's speaking to the men because he knows the men are most vulnerable. And if you are a Christian, if you are a Christian male, I suggest you read this book of Proverbs. And if you got to, you read this book of Proverbs every month till you get it. Because a bunch of y'all could have prevented a whole lot of stuff in your life had you to read the book of Proverbs. And to the young men, you could prevent a whole lot of stuff in your life if you read the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 1. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity. To give the subtlety to the simple. To give subtlety to the simple. And the young man knowledge. Let's start back over. Verse 4. To give subtlety to the simple. To the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. Verse 6. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark saying. Verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Verse 8. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Verse 9. For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. Verse 10. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. Verse 11. If they say, come with us, and let us lay wait for blood, and let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Verse 12, let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. Verse 13, we shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Verse 14, cast in thy lot amongst us. Let us all have one purse. Verse 15, my son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. Verse 16, for their feet run to evil, and make haste to shed blood. Verse 17. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. Verse 18. And they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own selves. Verse 19. So are the ways of every one that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of owners thereof. Verse 20. Wisdom crieth out. She uttereth her voice in the streets. Verse 21. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, and in the openings at the gate of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, verse 22, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners in their scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. 23. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Verse 24. Because I have called and ye have refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regardeth. Verse 25. But ye have set at thought all my counsel. Set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. Verse 26. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. Verse 27. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. Verse 28. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Verse 29, for they that hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. Verse 30, they would none of my counsel. They despised all of my reproof. 31, therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. Verse 32, for turning away from the simple shall slay them. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. Verse 33, but whoso hearken unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear and evil. We're now about to read chapter 2. We're starting with verse 1. The book of Proverbs, or the Proverbs of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou wilt receive my words and hide my commandments with thee, verse 2, so that thou incline thy ear unto wisdom and apply thy heart unto understanding. Verse 3, yea, if thou criest after knowledge and lifteth up thy voice for understanding. Verse 4, if thou seekest her as silver and searchest for her as for hid treasures. Verse 5, then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. Verse 6, for the Lord giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. Verse 7, he layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. He is a buckler to them that walketh uprightly. Verse 8, he keepeth the paths of the judgment and preserveth the way of his saints. Verse 9, then shalt thou understand righteousness and judgment and equity, yea, every good path. Verse 10, when wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul. Verse 11, discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee. Verse 12, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh froward things. Verse 13, who leave the paths of uprightness to walk in the ways of darkness. Verse 14, who rejoice to do evil and delighteth in the frowardness of the wicked. Verse 15, whose ways are crooked and they froward in their paths. Verse 16, to deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger which flattereth with her words. Verse 17, which forsaketh the guide of her youth and forgetteth the covenant of her God. Verse 18, for her house inclineth unto death, and her paths unto the dead. Verse 19, none that go unto her return again, neither neither take they a hold of the paths of life. Verse 20, that thou mayest walk in the way of good men and keep the paths of righteousness. Verse 21, for the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. Verse 22, but the wicked shall be cut off from the earth, and the transgressor shall be rooted out of it. May the Lord add a blessing to the readers, hearers, and doers of his most holy word. And hopefully you all will break out the book of Proverbs. Young men, this will help you tremendously to avoid the traps in life that you've seen many of the elder men go through. Y'all take care.